Welcome to the final day of the Tucson Bicycle Classic, a three-stage showdown deep in the desert, and today's circuit race is the last chance to leave it all on the road. It kicked off with a brutal 5-mile Merck-style time trial, a pure VO2 max sufferfest, with the winner clocking in just around 9 minutes and 30 some seconds. It's absolutely savage pace on there. The day after that came a 45-mile road race around Ajo, Duval Mine, and Helmet Peak with a little bit of climbing, about 2K total. I personally would have liked a longer course, but it delivered some exciting action either way, with a massive crash wiping out 1/3 of the field. I just barely maneuvered around it because I was sitting in the back, but I had to turn a ton of matches, pushing 600 plus watts to bridge back to the front. That effort cooked a lot out of my legs. At least I didn't put any skin on the asphalt. This race brings some serious firepower. We got riders from all over the world coming down on Tucson to train and race here. Even the Cat 4 or 5 field's pretty stacked. They even put some of the 65-year-olds that didn't have race experience into the group race. Props to my dad for finishing and not crashing and not getting any penalties and finishing. Just to look at the lineup, we have El Grupo, Natural Grocers, University of Arizona Cycling Club, Bicycle Ranch, Phoenix, Seek and Destroy, Blitz Racing, British Columbia, Team California, Rio Grande, Alto Verde, Primo Auto Denver, and Fort Lewis to Skyhawk. Tucson certainly draws a ton of riders that bring some heat. For the crash in the road race, it means 20 of the 60 riders did not start today. That's about 1/3 of the field gone and down. Now, the course today is a rolling 6-turn circuit with a kicker hill of a finish. You climb, you sweep into a right-hand descent, you roll through a curvy section, drop again, and then power up to that final climb lap after lap. Longer than a crit and way more punishing. I actually like this course quite a bit. It suits my kind of style, pacing on the hills, powering up each lap, staring down at the numbers at the bottom of the hill, and managing effort from the bottom to top. My plan was to take negative splits on the climb each time, and also positive power splits, so I put lower power on the bottom and more power on the top of the hill each time we go up it. Coming around this corner, I see just how far back I am, and I think I want to start making some moves to get up on the descent. Coming around this corner, you can really see how bad I'm getting yo-yo affected here, and all the other guys in front of me too. Like, we're throwing down 500 watts plus, 550 plus just to catch back onto the back after we take the corner. So in this corner you see a large gap growing, and I'm thinking this is not a good spot to be. There's a huge gap. There's like 6 wheels to chase down through here to get back on to the back of this corner. So I decide I'm going to pace myself at a little over 400 watts to get on.
Line the castle walls. Electric thunder shakes the stone. This is the fire that claims the throne. Drums of war pound the night. Flames ignite in the fight. Loots and rifts collide.
We got plenty of road space, pretty wide, plenty of space to move, but here's where I sort of blew it. It just didn't hold my position near the front. I wasn't assertive and it cost me pretty big time. So on this climb, the gap is opening up really big, really big, and I start surge, pushing over 300 watts. This pace is absolutely vicious for me. I'm really digging in, chasing hard, but that front of the group is just starting to really pull away from me. Getting up 400 watts now. I look down the meter, and then I decide I'm going to try and hit about 300 to catch back on it more evenly. Man, this really hurts. At this point, I'm hoping I can get somebody to help me pull back on. My wattage is dropping significantly, and then I think I feel someone coming behind me in the shadow. I'm like, okay, hello, I got a wheel I can follow. And he is giving it everything he's got to chase back on, and I am just struggling to hold on, and he's gapping me too, and I'm getting dropped by him pretty solidly. He's gonna make it, and I am not gonna be able to see him when we get around this corner. I am devastated. But I definitely still want to finish this race, and I am going to try every trick in the book I can come up with. I'm going to hug in as close to the inside of the line on every single curve to cut the distance, get a super arrow, and if I have anyone to rotate pulls with, I am going to make sure they pull hard and I pull hard. I don't want to be lapped out and pulled off the course, and I think there's some people behind me, but I am not sure. And haha, I have reinforcements. I am going to suck wheels so hard.
Work with me. I gotta recover a little bit.
Spotlights burn, the midnight air, a
this section, I'm trying to get as close as possible to the inside of the corner to cut the distance on the course by just tiny amounts, because if you've ever ran track and field, you'll know that being on the inside lane is the shortest distance to go, so I'm trying to do that with the course. So I'm in a group of about 7 riders now, and I feel that we're strong enough not to get lapped out. I start thinking if I had a better position on that first climb, maybe I could have been staying in this race with the lead group. But we're definitely going to be throwing down some big watts in this group too. We're all working together in a pace line. This guy in front of me in the pink helmet is really letting a lot of gaps open up. That always makes me nervous that I'll get gapped again. We're throwing down some big watts on this climb, 500 plus for me, and we're crushing it, and we're just gonna try and push each other pretty hard. So we ended up keeping everyone together through that entire hill climb all the way, and then we're going to start rotating back into the group once we get to the downhill section. Scenery with Mount Lemmon and Sabino Canyon back there in the background of this race. So Mount Lemmon is a very fun climb down to Tucson. It's huge, it's 7K feet climbing.
To the right, it's a shorter race.
This is it. This is the final lap. And in the drops, we're pushing over 500 watts when you're at the base. And then, boom, there's going to be a guy we catch up to, a straggler, and we're going to lay down the watts as best we can through this final lap. And we're climbing. And the guy in the pink helmet's going to launch a big attack. And we're surging 340 watts to try and hang on. Gaps keep opening. And here comes that attack, and I fade through as we get to the top. I'm shaking my head as I dang it. so this is not the result I was hoping for, but my Garmin VO2 Max was like, hey, you went up from 64 to 65, and I had hit some of my best power numbers in months, but I just wasn't strong enough for this field on this course, and tactically I was too passive. Fitness-wise, I couldn't get around with the yo-yo effect, and you know, you race, you learn, and you come back stronger. Cycling's a sport of managing disappointments. That like button if you've ever been humbled by a hill or popped off the back from the yo-yo effect.